Imagine looking at the world at night from outer space. The United States glows brightly, millions of lights stretching from the east coast to the west. But the Korean peninsula tells a completely different story. South Korea shines brilliantly, while just above it, North Korea is almost swallowed by darkness. That contrast isn't just about lights. It's about wealth, opportunity, and two completely different paths of economic development. Today, here on Billionaire Stories, we're going to uncover why America became the richest nation in the world, while North Korea remains among the poorest. Part 1. America's Path to Wealth. When people talk about America's wealth, they often think about skyscrapers in New York, mansions in California, or luxury cars rolling down the streets of Miami. But prosperity didn't just fall into America's lap. It was built over centuries, brick by brick, on a foundation of finance, innovation, and opportunity that few other nations have managed to create. America is like a giant machine designed to turn even the smallest idea into a massive opportunity. A college student with nothing but a dream in a dorm room can, within a few years, create a company worth hundreds of billions of dollars. A group of engineers in a garage can start with just a couple of computers and end up reshaping entire global industries. We've seen it with Facebook, with Apple, with Google. That's the magic of the American system, the ability to transform ambition into assets. At the center of it all is Wall Street. It's not just a street in New York. It's the beating heart of global finance. American companies can raise billions of dollars in a single day just by selling shares. Investors from Tokyo, London, and Dubai pour money into U.S. markets because they trust the dollar and they trust the American economy. This constant flow of global capital fuels new ideas and keeps innovation alive. But money alone isn't the secret. America has a unique culture, a culture of innovation. Americans value creativity and risk-taking. They treat failure not as shame, but as part of the journey towards success. That's why Silicon Valley isn't just a place where technology is born. It's a dream factory. From airplanes to smartphones, from the internet to artificial intelligence, America has been the launchpad for innovations that reshape the entire world. Another key piece of the puzzle is productivity. Americans don't necessarily work more hours than others, but they produce far more value in the time they work. Why? Because they have advanced technology, efficient management systems, high-quality education, and a competitive environment that pushes people to do better. One American worker with modern tools can produce as much as 10 workers in less developed countries. Higher productivity means higher income, and higher income drives national wealth. Then there's global trade. America doesn't just build for itself. It builds for the world. Apple sells iPhones across Asia. Boeing sells airplanes to airlines everywhere. Hollywood exports movies that dominate box offices from Paris to Beijing. Even McDonald's and Coca-Cola have become global icons. All of this brings enormous amounts of foreign money into the United States, reinforcing its position as an economic superpower. And behind all of this lies one invisible but powerful asset: trust. The US dollar isn't just America's currency, it's the world's currency. In times of crisis, countries and companies hold dollars because they see it as the safest asset on earth. That trust was built over decades through a strong legal system, transparent markets, and the credibility of the US economy. Put it all together, and the path to American wealth becomes clear. It's the mix of global capital, relentless innovation, high productivity, international trade, and trust in the dollar. America knows how to open its doors, how to encourage bold ideas, and most importantly, how to turn dreams into reality. That's why the United States became the richest economy on earth, and why so many other nations may admire it, but find it almost impossible to replicate. Part 2. North Korea's struggle. Now, let's turn our eyes north, toward a country that shares the same peninsula with South Korea, yet feels like it belongs to an entirely different world. North Korea, a nation where skyscrapers do not shape the skyline, and where the glow of prosperity is almost invisible when viewed from space. The story of North Korea is not about open doors, it's about walls. While America built its wealth by connecting with global capital and trade, North Korea chose isolation. Its currency, the North Korean won, has little to no value outside its borders. You can't take it abroad. You can't use it for global trade. There's no real stock market, no public investment system, no financial center like Wall Street. For most North Koreans, the idea of owning shares or investing in a company isn't just rare, it's unthinkable. Industries in North Korea remain trapped in time. Factories often run on machines that are decades old. Farmers still rely heavily on manual labor. Productivity is painfully low. To put it in perspective, while an American worker might generate hundreds of dollars worth of goods and services in just 1 hour, a North Korean worker might only produce a fraction of that in an entire day. Trade tells an equally harsh story. The United States trades with almost every nation in the world, from the richest to the poorest. North Korea, on the other hand, trades with only a few, and usually in low-value goods like coal, seafood, or raw minerals. Its economy is cut off from the global network that drives growth. Without international partnerships, without a flow of technology, and without capital to modernize, progress stalls. Then there's infrastructure. In America, the financial system allows ordinary people to borrow money, buy homes, invest in businesses, and grow wealth over time. In North Korea, these tools are completely absent. Banks exist, but not in the way outsiders understand. Credit cards are nearly non-existent. Insurance, investment funds, retirement accounts, the pillars of middle-class security, are simply not there. The average North Korean's savings don't grow because there's no system in place to multiply wealth. Even access to basic electricity and internet is limited. That's why satellite images at night show South Korea glowing brightly, while North Korea remains almost entirely in darkness. That darkness isn't just the absence of light, it's the absence of economic opportunity. The result is a vast gap in living standards. While the average American earns tens of thousands of dollars per year, the average North Korean earns less than a few thousand. This isn't just a statistic, it's the difference between abundance and scarcity, between having choices and having none. But there's another key reason why North Korea fell behind. It's isolation. The global economy runs on trade, investment, and cooperation. And for decades, North Korea has been left out of that system. After the Korean War, sanctions led by the United States and its allies restricted North Korea's ability to trade, borrow from international banks, or attract foreign investment. While South Korea opened up, partnered with the U.S., and connected with global markets, North Korea closed itself off. The result? One side gained access to capital, technology, and growth, while the other remained stuck in survival mode, cut off from the financial engines that fuel modern wealth. It's not only about what North Korea built, it's also about what it was denied. Over time, those restrictions created a massive gap, leaving the two Koreas today as if they were two completely different worlds, despite sharing the very same peninsula. Part 3. The Wealth Gap. What it means for ordinary people. At the end of the day, wealth is not just a number written in government reports. It's not just GDP charts or financial graphs. Wealth is felt in the daily lives of ordinary people. Let's walk through it together. In America, the average citizen wakes up in a house with running water, heating in the winter, and air conditioning in the summer. Breakfast might include fruit flown in from South America, coffee from Africa, or bread made with wheat harvested by advanced farming machines. All of this happens so seamlessly, many people barely think about it. Getting to work, millions of Americans hop into cars built with global supply chains, filled with safety features and GPS navigation. Others take public transportation systems, powered by modern technology. Even working from home is possible for millions, with high-speed internet connecting them instantly to colleagues across the globe. Now, contrast this with North Korea. Many families wake up in homes with limited electricity, sometimes just a few hours a day. Heat in the winter is a struggle, and food can be scarce. Breakfast may simply be a small portion of rice or corn, often produced through manual labor on collective farms. Imported fruits or coffee. For most, that's unthinkable. Transportation tells the same story. While a family in America might own multiple cars, in North Korea, cars are rare. Many walk, bike, or rely on buses that are overcrowded and outdated. Internet access, the very tool that connects the modern economy, is restricted to elites or used in controlled environments. For the average citizen, the global digital revolution doesn't exist. Healthcare is another stark contrast. In the US, despite all its problems, hospitals are equipped with advanced machines, life-saving medicines, and highly trained doctors. New treatments appear every year, often invented in America itself. For North Koreans, however, hospitals often lack basic supplies. Modern medicine is scarce. Many rely on traditional remedies, not by choice, but by necessity. The result of all this? The gap between wealth and poverty isn't just visible, it's lived every single day. Americans don't just have more money. They have more opportunities, more choices, more comfort, and more security. North Koreans, meanwhile, often live in survival mode, where even basic needs like food, heat, and healthcare can be uncertain. And here's the deeper truth. This isn't about individuals working harder or lazier. North Koreans work incredibly hard, often even harder than Americans in terms of hours and physical effort. But without access to innovation, global trade, and modern systems of productivity, their hard work doesn't translate into wealth. It's like two farmers working side by side. One has a modern tractor, irrigation systems, and access to markets. The other has only a hand plow and no market to sell to. Both may put in the same effort, sweat the same, but one harvest feeds thousands, while the other struggles to feed his own family. That's what wealth really means. Not just money in the bank, but the power to turn effort into results. And when you compare America and North Korea, the results could not be more different. Part 5. Lessons for the future. What the world can learn from this contrast. When we compare America and North Korea, it's easy to stop at the surface and say, well, one is rich and one is poor. But the real story goes much deeper. The contrast between these two nations holds valuable lessons, not just for governments, but for every person watching right now. The first lesson is about openness. America became wealthy not by closing its doors, but by opening them, by trading, by attracting immigrants, by embracing ideas from every corner of the world. That openness fueled innovation and gave birth to industries that changed history. North Korea, on the other hand, chose isolation. By cutting itself off, it also cut off opportunity. And that's a warning to any nation or any individual. Walls don't build wealth, bridges do. The second lesson is about investing in people. America didn't grow rich overnight. It built schools, universities, research centers. It invested in creating minds that could dream up the next breakthrough. North Korea, despite having millions of hardworking citizens, never gave them the tools to succeed. And that shows us something important. Talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. Wealth grows where people are given the freedom and resources to use their potential. The third lesson is about adaptability. America's economy has reinvented itself many times, from farming to industry to technology to digital platforms. Each transition was painful, but it ensured survival and growth. North Korea's economy, meanwhile, stayed stuck in the past. And in a world that changes so quickly, standing still is the same as falling behind. But maybe the most important lesson is this. Wealth is not just about money, it's about choices. America's wealth means its citizens can dream bigger, take risks, and imagine futures that seem impossible. In North Korea, many people can't afford to dream beyond survival. And here's where it circles back to us, the viewers. Whether you're watching this from the US, Europe, Asia, or anywhere else, the question is, how do you build your own America in your life? How do you create openness instead of isolation? How do you invest in yourself, your knowledge, your skills, your opportunities? And how do you stay adaptable in a world that's always changing? Because in the end, the story of America and North Korea is not just about two countries. It's about two paths. One leads to growth, innovation, and abundance. The other leads to stagnation, scarcity, and struggle. And the choice of which path to follow, for nations and for individuals, is always in front of us. And that's where we'll leave off today. The story of America and North Korea is really about choices and mindsets, and how they shape a nation. At Billionaire Stories, we explore the hidden lessons of wealth and success. If you found this story valuable, be sure to subscribe and like it, because one idea can change the way you see the world. Thanks for watching.